All right, well, welcome back to the F4U Corsair. This is the Birdcage Corsair from Tamiya. And we are just about to get started with some painting. I had an eyedropper, there we go, that I'm using. And for this one, I'm following the instructions because I am far from a Tamiya or a Corsair expert. But I'm gonna largely follow Tamiya's suggestion, and that is mixing this XF19 Sky Gray with XF2 Flat White at a ratio of 2 to 1 gray. So I put in 7 drops, well, 14 drops of the gray, and so now I'm gonna get 7 drops of the white. We'll mix that up in the airbrush and put it on the model. And I did goof a little bit by doing 10 drops of the white rather than the suggested 7, so our ratio is not exact. But I think it'll be okay. If I sound muted, it's because I am wearing a respirator, as you always should when spray painting any kind of paint.
All right.
Okay, well, that's done, and I quite like the shade of gray that we're working with here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do some of the blue. But first, we gotta get this thing masked up, and I'm using this, I think it's AK acrylic masking stuff. It's like masking putty, I guess. It's proven its worth for me. Sometimes it does leave a bit of a black, greasy residue, but for the most part, recently, it's been okay. And yeah, I mean, stuff is great, especially for the softer edges that we need to get on the Corsair. So we're going to just get this in place. Come on. Okay, and then I'm taking an old airbrush needle here and just using it to kind of push the putty towards the fuselage. So like I said, we're doing the instructions recommended mixture of, I believe it's 2 parts of this medium blue, XF18, and then 1 part flat white, XF2, and that's gonna go just like on this wing, down this area, and then all the other vertical surfaces. So so I've elevated the camera a little bit, and that gives you a nice overhead-ish view of the Corsair. And, yeah, I'm very thrilled with this. Nice dividing line between the white, or the gray, whatever it is, and then the blue, and, yeah, let's get these styrofoam masks out very carefully. Come on. There we go. Revealing, oh, the beautiful red primer beneath. Now these styrofoam bits were just, I don't even remember where I got them, but they just from random packaging, maybe a resin set, I don't actually remember. So anyway, I'm blabbering, I need to clean my airbrush, but we're gonna hit this all with a gloss coat. Protect up all the stuff we just did, but first, I think the inside of this propeller needs to be painted, or the cowling. I think it needs to be painted. I'm not sure what color though. Right, so as you can see, majority of the painting is done. I've still got to do some detail work like there for the anti-glare, and I've got to repaint the sides here for the cockpit, but that is gonna be pretty easy actually, because I've done some research and it looks like the inside of the cowling here is gonna have to be painted green, the interior green. Ditto for these cowl flaps, I think they are. But I mean, it's World War II aircraft colors. It could be anything for all I really know. But I mean, that's what it looks like. And I mean, you've seen me use it. Oh, I shook the whole table. You've seen me use it on other aspects of this aircraft. So I kind of know what I'm getting into. Now let's see. Okay, so that's what it's gonna look like fully assembled. So now everything just gets sandwiched together like that. This is one of those times I wish I had some cement rather than the extra thin, but extra thin does its job well, so. So I'm gonna keep this brief and handheld because it's about 12:30 and I'm tired. So we got a gloss coat on the Corsair, I used this Alclad stuff, and I just realized I left my Alclad airbrush cleaner open. So let's close that real quick. And then you can see the underside here. It looks pretty dang nice. This almost looks more like a semi-gloss to me though, but maybe that's just the camera, because actually looking at it with the Mark I eyeball, it does look more glossy. So yeah, anyway, that's that's the update for tonight. Hey everyone, post-commentary, Mile High Modeler here. Just wanted to use the last quarter-ish or half-ish of this video to offer my thoughts on the Corsair and kind of explain why this was such a long time coming. So I started this back, I don't even remember when, but it was part of the Hammerhead Model Making USMC build, and hence why it's a USMC Corsair. But in June of 2023... was it 23? Yeah, it was 23. I started getting incredibly sick. Just not pleasant. And I dropped about 20 pounds in 2 weeks, and I just wasn't getting better. So I decided to go into the emergency room. They did all their blood work and took as best care of me as they could. And they discovered that there's a high chance that I had leukemia, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, ALL, which I don't fully understand the science, but it's a blood cancer, and I do understand cancer. My dad passed away because of colorectal cancer in 2022, and my mom has dealt with 2 bouts of breast cancer, which she beat both times. So it's not an unfamiliar foe to me, but it never directly affected me. Fortunately, all of my treatments have gone well so far. I'm no longer on any chemo. I've completed chemo. I've rang the bell. It feels incredible. I've also gone through a stem cell transplant, or a bone marrow transplant, which was quite the experience. And that seems to have grafted, which means my body has basically accepted the new cells, the donor cells, and is now making healthy bone marrow, because part of what leukemia does is it kills off all the healthy bone marrow with immature white blood cells, I believe. I'm not a doctor. I'm a journalist by trade, so I'm not the one you should be going to for explanations on acute lymphoblastic leukemia, but this is all my memory of it. So yeah, over the last year and a half, I've spent probably 7 months in the hospital. Most of it was fine. Most of it was not a terrible experience. I was only sick due to treatment a couple of times, and then the transplant came around, and that was a little hard just because I had to stay in the hospital for so long. But eventually I got through it. I got through my 100 days, and I just passed in November of 2024. It was my 1-year anniversary of stem cell transplant, and that's a huge sign according to the doctors. So yeah, things are looking pretty dang good, and I'm just really excited to get back on the bench and continue with the hobby that I love and that I know so many others love. And I'm excited to see what others are building and producing and learning from them, and also maybe sharing what I can about what I've learned. I don't know what I've learned, to be completely honest. I just take it slow, But coming to the close on this Corsair video, I'll offer some brief thoughts on the build. It's a great kit. It's a Tamiya. You can throw it together. It's a shake and bake kit. You cut the parts off the sprue, throw it in the box, shake it up, you get a model. The only issue that I really had is the wing connection joints. They're a little finicky, but I got them to work. And then another one is a very self-inflicted issue, which was when I gloss coated and weathered, I ended up using an enamel thinner to try to work in some of the weathering, the pin washes, and that just destroyed the gloss coat. Fortunately, it does not seem to affect the semi-gloss coat that I've since put on, and I think the semi-gloss just looks fantastic. So here are some pictures of the completed model. I'm going to go ahead and call it quits here. I don't think I will be documenting my next build, which looks like it's going to be the Academy F4J, which I've already started, and that's why I'm not going to do a video of it. But I think for the next video project, I'll have an inbox review coming, and then another build, probably a Tamiya F16, or maybe an Eduard 190. I haven't built a 190 in a long time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too lengthy or boring or whatever. So if you want to see more, just hit that subscribe button, like the video, that really helps, and leave a comment on what you think of this build and any advice you have, anything you'd like to share, and let me know what you'd like to see next. But until then, I'm gonna sign off and finish my coffee. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.